Welcome to the PROCAS Expense User Training Series. In the introduction video, we talked about per diem expense being one of the types of expenses that you can record. The first step in recording per diem expenses is to start by adding your itinerary, so that the system knows where you were and when you were there. In this video, we'll go over how to add a business trip itinerary to an expense report. Creating an itinerary is a two-step process. First, you need to select the home and destination cities for your trip. Then, you can add the itinerary details so that the system can calculate the applicable per diem allowances. The agencies that determine the per diem rates occasionally publish updated rates throughout the year, so it's best not to record your itinerary too early to ensure that you're using the most current rates. Let's assume we live in San Diego and we just returned from a business trip to Honolulu. Click Add Edit Itinerary to bring up the itinerary location screen. The left pane of the window is where we will look up the cities for our trip. You must add a home city and any other cities where you've had at least a stopover for the night. It's not necessary to add cities where you've just had a brief layover. Let's start with adding our home city. When searching for a location, type only one of the following in the per diem city lookup box: the city, the county, the state, or the country. If you type more than one, the system may not find what you're looking for. We'll just type San Diego. Below the per diem city lookup, you must specify whether the city is in the continental U.S., also known as CONUS, Alaska, Hawaii, and U.S. territories, also known as OCONUS, or within foreign countries. In this case, select the Continental U.S. database list and click Search. You'll notice that there are several locations in the Continental U.S. database with San Diego in the name. Note that there is also an option to use the standard CONUS rate. This option should only be used if your city or county is not in any of the lists, since it will calculate the minimum allowable per diem rates. Click Use next to San Diego, California. The city information is automatically populated in the right pane. You'll notice that the city, state, and country boxes are all editable, but changing these values will not affect the per diem rate. In the Home City drop-down list, select Yes to designate San Diego as your home city. A home city is required. Click Add this location. The information just added is now listed as a location on this expense report. If you need to make a change to the location, you can click Edit, or you can select the checkbox and click Delete to remove it from the list. Next, let's repeat the process to add the destination of Honolulu, Hawaii. Let's type in Honolulu. In this case, select the Alaska, Hawaii, and U.S. territories database list before clicking Search. Click Use next to Honolulu, Hawaii. Be sure that No is selected in the Home City drop-down list. Click Add this location. Each city should only be added one time. If you have a trip where you stayed overnight in multiple cities, you'll need to add all of those locations to the expense report. Now that we've added all the cities we need, we're ready for the next step. Let's click Add Edit Itinerary. We'll need to record each leg of the trip separately. Remember, it's not necessary to add itinerary details for brief layovers that are not overnight. To record the first leg of the trip, click the Departure drop-down list to see the list of locations we've added. Select San Diego since that's the home city. Select the month, day, and year, and then select the approximate time of departure. The date and time information is entered this way to ensure that it is in the proper format for per diem calculations. Next, select Honolulu from the destination list. Record the date and approximate time for when we arrived at Honolulu. Once we've finished entering the dates and times of the first leg of the trip, we'll click Add this itinerary item. The itinerary details for the first leg of the trip are listed in the Itinerary for this expense report window, where they can be edited or deleted. Next, you'll need to repeat the process to record the return trip back home. When you are recording the dates and times of your itinerary, record the entire trip, even if the beginning and/or ending trip dates extend outside of the reporting period for the expense report. If you don't have a return trip date yet, estimate the ending date, but don't go beyond the last day of the government fiscal year end of September 30th. The per diem rates are only published up to the end of the government fiscal year. For the return leg, we left Honolulu on the 7th at 7 a.m. and arrived back in San Diego at about 3 p.m. We'll save this itinerary item, and now the itinerary for this expense report will display the details for the trip to the client site and the trip back home. When this looks good, we can click Save and View Expense Report. Now the itinerary section of our expense report is displayed at the top. When you click the View Per Diem link, you can see the system now knows that we were in Honolulu on the 4th, 5th, 6th, and 7th of January. It properly allows for lodging on the first 3 days, and it gives us 75% of the M&IE expense on the arrival and departure days, and 100% on the full days. If this doesn't look right, we can return to the expense report by clicking Save and View Expense Report, and then review the itinerary details by clicking Add Edit Itinerary. Now that we've covered adding an itinerary to an expense report, we're ready to add lodging and M&IE per diem expenses. For step-by-step instructions for using all of the features, you can download the PROCAS expense user instructions from the help link by clicking Downloads. Click on a link to start another training video, or see our other PROCAS time and expense training videos, which cover the basics for using the system.